we are transitioning into a multi-fuel world, and with it, the powertrain technology is also evolving. Joining us, we have Mr. Harshad Jambolikar, India General Manager of Infinium. Thank you for joining us, sir. Sir, globally we are seeing a trend toward electric vehicle, and not only electric vehicle but other sustainable fuel as well. Uh, how you, as a lubricant company, automotive chemical company, is going to work toward it, and how is that gonna help us achieve the net zero?
Okay, interesting question. So let me just clarify that as Infinium, we are basically lubricant additive manufacturers, and we are involved in most of the aspect that goes into the lubrication for powertrains globally. And we have been in the forefront of creating the right solutions, if I may say, for automotive industry from time to time as things have evolved. And EV is no different. So basically, the fact that EV is coming to the fore, Infineon has taken the lead to help the EV industry to really get to what they are looking for in terms of the technology aspect, especially concerning fluids. So we have a leadership globally as far as EV fluids are concerned, and a lot of that work has been taken from the fact that we have worked in these areas of creating fuel efficiency, building the right chemistry box, as I said, and the right products that really complement with the efforts that the OEM industry is taking today.
Right, sir. And talking about localization and make in India, how is the company working towards that?
So localization and make in India is perhaps the most logical thing to do when you are in India, because a country like India perhaps can be understood better if you are working within it rather than looking at it from the outside. So when Infinium decided to really come into India, which was with the onset of BS6, which was going to happen in 2020, we established an entity in India in 2016 with the view that we would be able to participate and really help support all the efforts that were being made by the OEM fraternity to develop the BS6 solutions. And we started from that. And as we evolved ourselves, we have really grown in the BS6 segment of the market. And we have a very strong leading position in that. So once we have done that, we have really created the basis for working in India. Infinium has now embarked on the next level, which is to create a competency on the ground. So we are investing in a facility to manufacture products in India with a view that we can start to incorporate local raw materials into the products, because ultimately, as a part of the India growth story, we have to make sure that we remain as agile, responsive to the market needs, and create the right offers which India needs going forward for its for its journey into sustainability and carbon neutrality.
Great. Sir, I would like to understand, as in which all components are, which all components, which all products are used in order to make lubricants additive, and how much is it? How much does the import part of it consist?
So we have to understand this a little bit differently, right? So the additive is basically a combination of chemicals which then goes to create the final performance in the lubricant. Now when we try to create these products, there are varying compositions across the profiles. So it's very difficult to kind of generalize and say what percentage and what percentage not. But I'll just give you a very general understanding of this. So this has to be done in a staggered manner. So we are looking at, first working on the ones that we can possibly help ourselves within the Indian ecosystem, and go in a staggered manner like 10%, 15%, 20%, right up to a level where we feel comfortable using Indian components. Because again, the fact is that as Infinium, we have our own set of quality control and uh, performance requirements which are defined even for our raw materials. So we cannot digress from that. And the whole effort about creating products which are fungible, in the sense that a product manufactured in India is the same as the product manufactured in US or Europe or Asia Pacific, has to be done so that we are consistent in terms of whatever we are doing. So all this effort takes time, and we are going in a very measured and logical way in terms of establishing that capability as we go forward. So it's a process. We just started on the first steps in creating the manufacturing capability here.
Right.
The next steps are going to take place as we go along, and we have got a very definite plan in place to address them as we go along.
Understood, sir. We talked about India. Now we are standing, we are here in Chennai. I would like to know the largest automotive manufacturer. How is Tamil Nadu playing a role in growing in the India growth story, especially in the automotive part?
Okay, so Tamil Nadu is the home, or rather, has been a very strong base, if I recall, for OEMs to set up right from the time Ashok Leyland has been here. And I give that connect to Ashok Leyland because they have been the longest in this part of the region. And they have actually expanded. They have become one of the major CV manufacturers in India, operating out of Tamil Nadu, and essentially creating that endorsement for Tamil Nadu to become a base for OEMs in India. And we heard this today from the minister himself, saying that the fact that Tamil Nadu has developed the ecosystem. So what does the OEMs really need? They also need their tier 1, tier 2 suppliers to be around them so that they get the logistic efficiency as much as they can. They have the right level of competency available. They need talent. So the fact that we had a base coming up, the ecosystem has also developed along with it very well. And the fact that the government agencies also remain very responsive, agile to understanding the needs of the OEM industry and perhaps giving them the right level of support has just helped Tamil Nadu to only expand its base. And we have seen a multitude of OEMs who have been setting up shop in Tamil Nadu over the last 2.5 decades since India has liberalized, to make sure that they have the right level of support and incentivization to make sure to ensure success for their business in the whole journey that India has been through and will be going forward.
So the country is moving towards sustainable fuels. So similarly, we can expect that there will be a need for new skills and reskilling and new innovations. In this particular segment of Infinium, what are the new innovations that are going on? If you can share with us.
Okay, so our one of our biggest lead story, if I may say, was the fact of working with one of the biggest OEMs in India to create a low viscosity fluid. And why I really look at that is because this was well ahead of its time. Means the market was not really even thinking about doing something like this, and as a collaboration between the OEM and Infinium, we kind of moved into this project. We demonstrated the credibility and the reliability that we could bring to the table in terms of the performance, as well as the validation that gave a lot of confidence to go ahead with something like this to the consumer, because ultimately the consumer is the king and they have to accept a product ultimately once it is commercialized. So bringing something like this to the market a little bit ahead of time to make sure that you are providing value not only to your customer but to the entire value chain as it goes through is very important. So that was one of our predominant steps when we decided to come into India and start working with the OEMs here. And we have tried to take the story into different segments as well. The low viscosity and the fuel economy story is actually being replicated in different segments, and it helps both OEMs as well as consumers to see a real-time benefit coming out of it. In line with this effort which we have done, a lot of R&D today, investments are going in to make sure that countries like India have got the right set of products, components and in terms of technology to meet the emerging needs, because India is a market which is, as you said very rightly, sustainability is becoming a big focus for us, and we cannot work only with diesel as a powertrain or gasoline as a powertrain. We are looking at a multitude of options. OEMs perhaps today have got a full whiteboard filled with complex metrics of different powertrains and what they are going to be doing about it. And essentially, the whole element of lubricant and additives is about how do you address it? Do you address it through customization or do you address it through rationalization? That is where the whole this thing is. Because on one hand, people like me will talk about having a fuel agnostic solution because it makes sense and having one oil that goes across segments.
Right.
But when you do that kind of an approach, sometimes there are credits, sometimes there are debits. So, but ultimately everything diverges because it segments itself. And then there will be customized solutions. But for India, as going forward, and Infineum's objective of looking in this market will be to create the right solutions that the OEMs need for all their sustainability initiatives going forward.
Right.
And we have got the technology and the capability which we can put to use. But it will all depend upon how the needs are defined and how well they are, captured in the whole roadmap of developing the right technology for India.
Right, sir. Right, sir. Thank you so much for talking to us, sir. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. It was a pleasure.